Welcome guys once again to my YouTube channel. This is Kutosi Peter. I welcome you. I thank all the new subscribers who have been subscribing to the channel, and I welcome you once again. So today we are going to have our podcast number 3, or our module 3, which is personal development under progressive revelation. And this as far as psychology is concerned with progressive revelation, and we are going to have some various topics that we are going to have in this module 3. So as I've just said, we're going to have personal development. So under personal development, we all get to see that being part of personal development, it's just a part and parcel of counseling psychology or training is going, because it is very necessary, because it promotes self-disclosure and ability to the vulnerable, whereby you have to develop personally as an individual. So it helps, for example, a counselor to have experience of how it feels to be in a position of a client. For example, the quality of empathy that you may entail or give that particular client of yours. So it is very, very essential to sometimes put yourself in the shoes of the client, so that you may be able to help that client in the way that is supposed to be done. So under personal development, we have self-discovery and self-awareness, which are also promoted to know yourself and to be aware of our uniqueness and reflect or thinking about them. So that is how we get to there. Under this personal development, we get to see that we develop we get to develop or acquire necessary skills and knowledge about a client on a certain topic or certain issue that has come through, so that it helps us to find a solution in this particular level. And as I said, you also have self-awareness in counseling or in personal development as far as counseling is concerned. So we get to see that self-awareness refers to the uniqueness of a person, or uniqueness that helps you to reflect or think about something. So you get to see that there are 3 fundamental questions that you're supposed to ask yourself in self-awareness. Number 1, you need to know who are you. So you need to ask yourself, who am I? When you get to know who you are, you will be able to express yourself. Number 2, you are supposed to ask yourself, where am I going? You need to, after knowing that who you are, you're supposed to know where you're heading or going. So number 3, you have, how am I getting there? So you also need to know, since I've known whom am I and I know where I'm going, and the next fundamental question is, how am I getting there? Those are 3 questions that are very, very important. And just to put an NB, it is not easy. It's not easy to know yourself, but you can develop the ability to do so. It is not easy to know yourself, but you can develop the ability to do so. So you have developing ability to know yourself. It entails a lot of things. For example, we have self-assessment. We have the life experiences maybe that you have gone through as a person or at a personal level. We also have accepting feedback, that maybe someone has talked to you in a way that is not supposed to be talking, or in a way that has not given you a pavement to move. So you're not supposed to be hungry, you're not supposed to be angry, I mean. You're not supposed to react in the way that is not supposed to be done. So you just have to accept the feedback the way it is, so that your life may move on swiftly and accordingly. So number 4, the developing ability, you have gathering of information. So you are also supposed to gather information from all corners, so that you have that ability to know your uniqueness as a person. So when I see uniqueness of a person, it just refers to the unique way one is on his own way, that uniqueness that you have before others. So Sometimes the client and counselor, both these two people have different nature, or on their own way they are unique. So the uniqueness is brought by three major parts which influence human being. So there are very three major parts that influence human being, and I'll be very brief about them. We have the hereditary part, which includes the genetic or the inheritance nature from the parents. Number two, we have the environmental part, that is socialism, economic part, religious part, physical part, and something like that. So they bring onto environmental part. So number three, we have choices in life, or the choices that we make as people, the choices that we make, for example, the lifestyle we live in, the career that we take, the occupation, the education, and anything that you try to choose so that your life moves on. After there, we have a multidimensional effect of issues on the client. And these issues are very many of them. The effects are very many. Maybe it might be physical effect. For example, it might be the client is feeling headache, the client is feeling backache, or the client is feeling stomachache, and all other things related with the physicality. Number two, maybe you can say the effect number two, emotional effect, which is frustration, guilty, regret, anxiety, aggressiveness, depression, and all those things that are lying there, including stress being one of the major causes. So we also have number three, cognitive effect. This deals with mental or disturbances around the brains. Also you have spiritual effects, which is confusion, fantasy, withdrawal, criticism, backbiting, and all other elements that are related to spirituality. So we also have behavioral effect, which is irritable, angry, rebellion, aggressiveness, and whatsoever. So those are the those are the multi-dimension effect of the issue on a client. So briefly, I want to tackle about the core of the modern. This is intrapersonal and extrapersonal, intrapersonal and interpersonal development. So I will start with intrapersonal development. This is basically refers to the self development through self-awareness and acceptance. You just accepting yourself through self-awareness and acceptance. You accept yourself the way you are without any compromisation. So we also have, it focuses on the process of self-exploration, which helps to identify weaknesses that one has, strong points that one has, resistance and vulnerability. Those are the points that it depends on. When you look on the objectives of intrapersonal, we have develops understanding and appreciation of oneself, because you'll have that ability to accept yourself, becomes aware of the strengths and make good use of them. When you know that you are good in this and this, you'll utilize your time, you'll make sure that all your time you energize it in doing what is positive. So to become aware of weaknesses and cope up with those that are not be solved. So when you know your weakness is this, you will always do your best so that you may overcome these weaknesses, or you try your best so that you live with these things in accordance or in the way that you can fight them. Objective number three, we have to identify areas to work on in personal development or in your part. And finally, to appreciate the significance of personal developmental stages. So when as we finish, I will tackle interpersonal. We are tackling intrapersonal development, and for now we are going to tackle interpersonal development. Ability to create that good relationship between yourself and other people, from the word inter, you and others. So how do you create this interpersonal development between you as a counselor and a client? So Counseling has that essence or importance to change in relationship, and also it is facilitated through the helping of relationship and others, because you can't do it alone. You're supposed to do it in the broad way with others, so that you get that information the client gives you. So it is just like creating a report in my first podcast. So the trainer must have the ability to form a helping relationship with the client, because when you have that ability to form a relationship with the client, it is now interpersonal development, because you want to help this client in one way or another by sharing with him or her. Objectives of interpersonal development: you have to understand the areas of strengths and development in a relationship. For example, in the peers, in the clients, in the persons or relationship. So when it helps you, the objective, to understand areas of strengths, maybe between your age mates, between your clients, between the counselors, between the relationship between people. So, and also to gain that confidence in appropriate self sharing. You will have that point of confidentiality of sharing with maybe your client and you, so that you get that point of that you need to share with that particular client. So this will help you a lot, and do some assumptions on how you are going to tackle things. So my good people, I think that is enough for today. And as from maybe my next podcast, I'm preparing for you, so that you get to know the difference between something very hot: counseling, psychology, and guidance. These three things are very important, very related, but they are very different. So I just urge you to welcome again to my YouTube channel. I welcome you all. Subscribe, like, comment, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, so that you're not left behind. Thank you very much, and God bless you.